And now it's time for the lightning round with Brad Butt. Brad, are you all set to go?
Yeah, let's roll.
All right. Well, we're through another federal election. Brad, what are people saying so far that you've heard? $600 million, and all we did was rearrange the deck chairs. So,
Well, it's deja vu all over again, except this time, at least the good news is my name wasn't on the ballot. But really nothing changed. We have the same minority parliament, plus or minus a seat here and a seat there that we had at the dissolution of parliament. The Liberals are returned with a minority government. They're going to have to work with other parties to get anything done. It's back to the future.
Brad, there's been much speculation about the leaders, how well they did. Of course, the prime minister was saying that he was going to have a majority. Mr. O'Toole didn't fare much better than he did in the last election. The same thing with Mr. Singh. So, what are their political futures looking like?
I don't think there's going to be much change as far as the leaders are concerned. I think, despite the fact the prime minister clearly called the election to get a majority and didn't get it, is a disappointment, obviously. And some people can argue right or wrong, whatever, but I think Justin Trudeau is okay. This is Aaron O'Toole's first election as leader. I would suspect he's relatively safe, but you never know in the Conservative Party. Jagmeet Singh ran a really good campaign. The problem is the vote splitting didn't work in his favor.
And in Mississauga, 6 seats were up for the election, including one minister in Omar Al Gabra. How did Mississauga candidates fare?
So we had 4 Liberal MPs seeking re-election. All of them were handily re-elected in this election. 2 new candidates in Mississauga Streetsville and Mississauga Malton for MPs that decided not to run again. So we've got 2 new Liberal members of Parliament. So Mississauga is all red all the time.
Brad, the minority government is being returned to Ottawa. Who is the prime minister going to have to saddle up with in order to get things done?
Well, it'll be interesting to see issue by issue who they bring along as their dance partner to make sure they have enough votes to pass a piece of legislation in the House of Commons. I mean, some things government can do and they don't need legislation to do. Other times they will need that. They can probably count on the Conservatives from time to time, but they certainly will be relying, I think, on the NDP quite a bit to get their more what they call their progressive agenda through the House of Commons.
There are many business support programs that we're running. What's the prognosis for those continuing into the future?
Well, the one good thing about having the Liberals reelected is they were probably the clearest on extending the existing financial support programs that businesses have relied on, like the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy and the Canada Emergency Rent Subsidy, some of the loan programs, and then focusing on those highly affected sectors for continued support till March of next year. If they carry through with that, that's certainly good news for business in this country.
Brad, the Canadian Chamber of Commerce is calling on everybody just to get back to work. What are they trying to say?
Well, yes, Perrin Beatty, the president and CEO of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, reacted after kind of this 36 days where obviously nothing has really changed other than to delay stuff and not have the House of Commons sit to focus on the issues that Canadians care about, which is getting us out of the pandemic, making sure those subsidy programs are extended, focusing on workplace training and development for the workplace of the future, and making sure our economy is rocking and rolling again.
Brad, the ministers that were in place at the federal level, are you hearing anything that there might be some changes within the cabinet?
Well, there certainly will be changes. There were 3 actually female Liberal cabinet ministers that lost their seats in the election. So those are 3. There were 3 there that have to be replaced. the Liberals did wind up winning a couple of seats in the province of Alberta, which they didn't have before. So someone there is likely to be a cabinet minister. This prime minister likes gender balance in his cabinet, so he'll be looking for new women to replace the 3 women that did not get reelected on Monday, and we'll have to see what the cabinet looks like.
Well, I think we can sum this up with one of Shakespeare's great lines, much ado about nothing.
Much ado about nothing.
That's it for us for the lightning round. Brad, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks, David.